Hi, and welcome back. My name is Deneen. You can call me D. I'm an astrologer and I teach people the psychology behind marketing. And today we're going to be hopping into Mars in Libra. Okay? So, Mars in Libra. Now, a lot of people would say that Mars in Aries would be the person to pop off and do all this. But actually, Mars in Libra, seeing it firsthand, they can shock you, they can surprise you, and this is because it is also a cardinal sign. Okay, and so there can be accumulation that's happening with them, all right, before the fuse is blown. All right, but Mars in Libra, the action or that buildup of action isn't always outrightly seen because it's Libra, right? So this can be in the person's mind, like they can be looking absolutely normal, absolutely regular. And then, okay, in their mind, they're thinking, oh, this person, they don't know what they're talking about. They're wild. And it's like, what? What? And you won't even know this. It will be hidden from you. Okay? Because Mars in Libra, it is an air sign. Okay, so this is about them and how it is that they are thinking towards their way of taking action. So sometimes they can think about something and be indecisive about how it is that they're taking action, and this can create what we call the freeze or the hesitation that people can see with Mars and Libra sometimes. Okay, now this isn't bad by any means. Okay, there might be a reason why you're being asked to freeze, okay, and why you're being asked to chill before you move forward. All right, now Mars and Libra, as we spoke about, is communication, but Libra is opposite Aries, which deals with the self. Okay, so being able to be reflective about one's actions, being reflective on one's actions. Okay, a lot of that goes on here. So it's not that the Mars and Libra person won't take action, or the Mars and Libra person won't assert themselves or defend themselves. No, that is a false. Okay, okay, that you have to look at Mars and Libra when a person has that placement and see the whole chart. All right, Kobe has this, Bill Gates has this, so sweetheart is not stopping nothing. Okay, now Mars and Libra, this is definitely, and this can be very calculative, because you might not see this person's thinking or what it is that they're pondering, reflecting on immediately. And so there can be an accumulation that happens before this person comes out and says, well, you did, this happened, da-da-da-da. Okay, and this person has been reflecting on that, or that has been something that this person has been reflecting on and sitting with, okay, before they went to take action. But Mars in Libra, this can also deal with a person who is an artist or artiste, okay, a person who uses a lot of their energy towards partnerships in general and relationships in general. Okay, now there might be a reason why they are dealing with a lot of one-to-one partnerships. They can be a relationship counselor, they can be a lawyer. Okay, they can have to, with Mars and Libra, it can manifest as them having to defend another person, okay, on, like, be the person who's defending them on their behalf. Okay, so this can manifest in a multitude of ways. But Mars and Libra, it deals, and it usually has a person dealing with a lot of partnerships that they are reflecting on, and having a person be really reflective in the actions that they're taking. Also, a lot of the times with Mars and Libra, this still is dealing with and brings about refinement in how it is that they take action in their relationships, but also refinement in how it is that they take action in their way of thinking about taking action in their relationships and partnerships. Okay, now Mars and Libra at a certain degree is debilitated. Okay, however, when it comes to debilitation, or talking about debilitation, I still say look at the whole chart. Okay, and the reason why I still say look at the whole chart, things don't work in isolation with each other. they work all together as one. A holistic approach. Okay? So you have to look at everything together before you make a judgment. Alright? Now, also too, Mars and Libra, the energy can have a person who is using this energy, alright, because Libra is an air sign, alright, but you also have other air signs like Gemini and Aquarius using this energy towards the partnerships that they make to make communications, to network with bigger groups of people, and so they're dealing with a lot of one-to-one partnerships. So you can have this Mars and Libra and be dealing with not just one person, but it can turn into a one-to-one contract, a one-to-one agreement, or having to deal with a person on a one-to-one basis. But you could have met these people in groups, or you could have met these people through socializing online. Okay, but Mars and Libra, a lot of the energy is exerted towards communication and a way of being reflective about your partnerships, so that eventually over time, okay, and you'll see this over time, and you can even check back with yourself how you have changed the way that you take action in relationships from when you were younger to now when you're older, and how that has been reflective in your own personal character, or how it is that you're seen. Because a lot of times people talk about Mars and Libra, but a lot of times people don't talk about Mars and Libra and how the person's life was in the first half versus the second half, amongst other things. We won't be going too deep into it here, but Mars and Libra, a lot of the times there is reflective action that's taken on partnerships, because there might have been, okay, a need for a person to assert themselves, or having to assert themselves in partnerships. The circumstances in the person's life create that for this person to be able to do that, okay? And this can be, as I said, as a lawyer taking up defense for another person, okay? This can be as a relationship counselor, okay? And maybe you've seen something as a spat or a dispute in between two people. It doesn't have to be anybody personally freaking close to you, but between two people where there was a back and forth, or there was a disagreement or disharmony there, and that was a big part of your story, okay, for some way, shape, or form, for some reason, okay, and that has created a person who, Mars and Libra, you are reflective about the actions that you take, or how it is that you take action, because you might find that there's a better or more beneficial way of you taking action that you're going to learn in this lifetime, okay, that might not have been present or as readily a choice for you, or as abundant of a choice for you earlier on, okay, where I'm thinking of the trines, okay, so as abundant of a choice for you earlier on, but now as you're older and you understand, okay, how it is that you're working, or how it is that you are perceived in relationships better. And so you understand how it is that you can communicate better, because sometimes Mars and Libra, they don't understand that how it is that they're taking action can be seen. Okay, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have the intention of being passive aggressive. Okay, but it can be seen as passive aggressive. A person can take your actions as passive aggressive, or the fact that you're reflective and that you hesitate and you don't fully follow through because your sign is just there. That's just the nature, okay, of what's going on with you as a person. That might misconstrue how that communication is taken, or how that person is perceiving you in that relationship, okay? That doesn't mean, okay, and I want to make that very clear, that doesn't mean that, oh, I should just take action, I should, because I have this is what I should do about, no, okay, stop that now, okay? You are meant to be reflective about the actions that you take, okay? And you're also meant to be reflective about the partnerships that you have. So who it is that you're entertaining, the partnerships you are entertaining on a one-to-one basis, okay? Because if one person having your ear and them being able to say things to you that can create disharmony in how it is that you're seeing yourself, or how it is that you are taking action in your partnerships can also be a real thing as well too, okay? Because it's dealing with communication. So that's important to look at as well. But Mars in Libra, this is being able to over time refine the way that you do partnerships in a way where it's not just beneficial for you, but it's actually also beneficial for the person, because while there might be disharmony that can pop up sometimes when it comes to your one-on-one partnerships, it's not anything that's meant to deter you. It's actually meant to empower you. And if you look at it that way, the way that you will start to reflect on your partnerships can very much change. It might even be more impactful for you, okay? How did one partnership with one person, what did that teach you about yourself, okay? Because, like I said, opposite Libra is Aries, okay? So the disharmony that you can face when it comes to your partnerships, and the way that a person can feel like you're taking action, you're not taking action, or the communication that is or isn't there, okay, that can show things about yourself, and how it is that you can reflect on that can be very major key into how you can navigate your partnerships moving forward, but also navigate the communication with yourself when it comes to taking action in those same scenarios again, or in newer, improved relationships that you have cultivated in your life. Okay, so if this is your placement and this resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button down below. And if you don't ever want to miss out on any of our astrology or our psychology videos, go ahead and hit the notification bell and make sure you hit subscribe so you're always notified. Okay, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.
But then they turn around and mimic me. Baby girl, it ain't my fault, I got the agility. To catch wise, gotta act dumb. Humble enough to show love, but please don't play with my humility and think that you can doubt my capability. For the odds, it's hostility.